Gwendolyn, get me my coffee. The Stoner's Point is on, and I will not be disturbed.
Yes, this podcast is not a figment of your imagination, but it is reality.
Yeah. We up to no good again. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daniel, and I'm reporting to you live from Earth. And this right here is the Stoner's Point. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have us plugged in your ear during your run, during your commute to or from work, on the train, on the bus, on the plane, I'd just like to say happy July 4th weekend, and a happy thank you very much as well. Oh my God. What has happened? A lot, a ton. And a ton will happen too as well. Let's start quite light. Not light, but as important as well. Chris is coming back, yes! He's coming back today. He's on the plane. He just texted on Facebook. Horrible Facebook. He just texted on Facebook at LAX leaving now or something to that degree. Yeah. So make it back home safely. I'll see you in like a day or two, man. Fucking flight is long. For anyone who's never made the transatlantic flight or the trans-Pacific flight from the Western Hemisphere, United States, Canada, wherever, St. Lucia, goddamn, to the Eastern Hemisphere, to an Asian country like Taiwan or Japan, goddamn, that's a long-ass flight. And to those of you who do it all the time, like there are people who do it 5, 6, even more times a year. The radiation in your body must be so high. Like, oh my God, you feel so tired. You know, I'm just going to give, because I know there'll be a lot of travelers. It's summertime. Everyone's having a good time this summer. And you should treat yourself. Go to Thailand. Go to the Philippines. Do what you want to do. A good thing when you get off planes to do is exercise. I mean it. Just, you know, not too much. And I'm not a fit guy or whatever. But I like when I get to my destination, whether it's back home in St. Lucia, because right now it's Carnival. Carnival. Or you're going back to the United States and you just got back in time for July 4th weekend, which is Independence Day to the United States of America, if you did not know, ladies and gentlemen. And you got back home in time and you don't want to be tired and sluggish or sick because that flight, pardon my language, is fucking long. God damn it. When are they going to make teleportation devices? Seriously, like, ploof, you're in New Orleans, ploof, then in New York, ploof, hi London. That would be so cool. The wishes of the future. Yes, my future is a little bit more optimistic and imaginative. A little, not much. I mean, come on, we all grew up on Star Wars and Star Trek. You know, I was talking to Maxi. And for those of you who don't know who Maxi is, shame on you. Shame on you. Thank you. He's my partner in crime. They just did episode 16, Maxi Hille, alongside with Michael Skeet. Should I say Skit or Skeet? Skeet. Yes, Skeet. Michael Skeet. Skeet, what up? Big up. That was a solid episode. My God. Fucking solid. I was listening to it the entire way. And I was like, I wish I was in St. Lucia with some scotch and a joint with you guys. Yeah, it was very good. I really enjoyed that. So, episode 16, I had to split it up into two parts. Part 1 and part 2, because they talk on religion, tech, football, or let me not say religion. The LOL segment, tech and football. Also, they talk a little bit of St. Lucian politics and the situation that's going on right now with the government and them trying to stay out of the hands of the IMF. And the reason for this, or one of the primary reasons for us even being in contention, which is not contention, that's not the right word, being even on that short list or list that of IMF loaned countries, or countries that loaned funds from the IMF, and the IMF is saying they want to manage and come in, but it hasn't reached that critical point yet. But basically, expenditure in the government is way too high, mostly from their results and from all of their podium tongue mashing. It seems that it's coming from the civil service, the individuals who serve the nation, the teachers, the guys at port and authorities, the police, so on and so on. The ironic part of all of this is that the government most recently gave them a 4% increase. A 4% increase. And now, because of the situation, the economic situation, the government is scaling back and reducing their pay by 5%. So they gave them 4% late last year or whenever it was. And now, I don't know if it's gone past through already. I haven't been in contact with the guys for a couple days. But from what I know, the government is planning on subtracting or removing 5% from their pay. Awesome. And must I mention that they're going to also increase VAT, value added taxes. Mike brought up some valid points, absolutely valid points. He mentioned that maybe the government should actually just let the civil servants strike, and through the strike, basically you go through a crash and burn system, where through the strike you see the individuals in your public service sector who are supposed to serve the nation, those who will go to work, and those who don't, then you go, oh, so you are the guys who are unproductive and inefficient, and apparently maybe government's expenditure is a little too high. Wink wink. In other words, they get fired or laid off. I think it's a good economic standpoint. I mean, we are in a very, very desperate situation. Very desperate. Of course, being from a small island, you want to see, and small only because of size, I always say this, not because of potential and capacity to do great things through its people and its policies somewhat. This brings up my next point. Considering that the government is in such shambles, and this is like beating the dead horse, but someone's got to beat the horse. I got a machete and a fucking 2x4, so I'm gonna beat the horse, all right? How you mean to tell me that you're going to reduce civil servants' pay by 5%, and I'm not saying that they should or should not, then increase VAT and not have a proper conversation in Parliament about other economic drivers? For example, marijuana. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we know that, like my country and many others, they are bound by UN treaties, drug enforcement, organizations that they become a part of. However, I think we need to really move forward and see studies, because we have an example. See studies of the after effect. At least have a conversation and see studies of the after effect of the prohibition of marijuana being removed, or rather, there being a logical conversation in Parliament. The example that I'm speaking of, ladies and gentlemen, is Uruguay. I'm not talking about biting Luis Suarez, but I'm talking about the entire country of Uruguay. I just had to say it. That wasn't even really connected. Why you bite the guy? Fucking Suarez. Anyway, Uruguay have legalized marijuana from, as of, I believe, last month, which was when the legislation was said to be passed, spring of 2014. So, with what information that I have thus far, what they have released so far is that Uruguayan citizens can register, which I'm kind of skeptical about that whole thing anyway. It's like they're already putting you and labeling you and putting you in a box. A public registry, by the way, that of course can be accessed by any company, any religious group, any individual. And of course, there's a taboo that is descended upon cannabis. So if you do end up on this list, then it seems that you are part of this taboo, this unspoken thing that people are doing. So I don't really agree with this registry, but I see the reason for it. It was an illicit drug. Let's not act like, even if prohibition policy is very backward and drug enforcement policy and narcotics policy is very backward, in my opinion, it's very costful but not cost effective. Anyway, Uruguayans, all they have to do is register, and they can get up to 40 grams of marijuana, legal marijuana, in Uruguay. 40 grams. That's so good. That is a lot. But what some Uruguayans are saying, and I mentioned this in earlier pods, is that one, of course, with the registration, that causes some kind of restriction to this legal thing. But again, there are somewhat registrations for many other legal things that we have. For instance, a prescription drug. The doctor prescribes you the drug, which means it's on record. He writes it in his little book to show that last week you had Advil or whatever it is that I prescribed to you, and it's on record. However, it's not on public record. Anyone cannot just walk into the hospital and go, can I get the medical records? Just the prescriptions. I don't need to know what's going on with him. But just the prescription record of Daniel Faustin. Thank you very much. So you see the difference, right? Between the registration of cannabis in Uruguay and, everything else that is legal, supposedly. But yeah, I think the St. Lucian government should actually have a proper conversation in Parliament. We're not little kids. People are much smarter than they were before. And the people before them were, let's check that again. People are much smarter now than the people before. And the people before the people that were before us were dumber than the people before us. Which means the people before us were smarter than them. Did you get that? I hope you did. And if you didn't, neither did I. Or so didn't I. God damn it. My English is fucked up today. Did I mention it's 4th of July weekend? Yeah! I've been drinking, man. I'm enjoying it. I should be doing some work, but I'm not in the mood for work. I did do some work earlier. So I did some, just not much. And by work, I mean work on my thesis, which brings me to my next topic. To all the people who are doing their thesis out there, or are finishing exams, or are preparing for summer courses, Jia You. And to those of you who don't know what Jia You means, it's basically like, keep your head up. You can do it. Go, go, go. You can do it. So Jia You. Especially to those who are doing summer courses, willingly or not, wanting to do it or not, Jia You. Big up to all of y'all. Keep your head up. Just plug the TheStonersPoint in. I will do my part. Just do yours. And I know you will. So it's all good. We have no problems over here. Oh, with that being said, I also want to mention the lovely Jessica Lay, who has finished her degree. Congratulations to her. Gonchi Gonchi. And she came through here to the TheStonersPoint, and she was, how do I say, marvelous, fantastic. She was above the rest. And not putting down any of the other guests or individuals who came on here, but that's Jessica Lay. She's super duper. She is, we're all unique. Everyone is unique. So all the other people are Batman. Batman is a kick-ass motherfucker. He's Bruce Wayne. He has guns, knives, Albert, a cave, a car, Ferrari, Lamborghini, girls on his lap left and right. And Superman, who doesn't have a girl, but he's Superman. So she's Supergirl. So not saying the other Batmen are not good. Chris is a awesome Batman. He'll fuck you up. You get the analogy, right? I'm not saying Chris is Batman. I'm just saying he's... Never mind. So, yeah, big up to Jessica. Oh, thanks for coming through. She was super duper awesome. Again, want to shout out to Funku for organizing the games this past weekend and this week. We had an awesome time over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, Funku Restaurant and Bar. That's on Minzu and Hyanlu. You can't miss it. It's like fun. You break the corner, You just see fun happening, and you go, oh, that has to be funku. Yeah, or funku. If you're Latin, you say funku or funku, whichever, whatever. That was a fucking tangent. So let's get back to to the trail. Why isn't the government of St. Lucia having a conversation about the legalization of marijuana, or at least the decriminalization? Jeez, we're not kids anymore. We're smarter, or we're led to believe that we have accomplished things that the prior generation did not, because that is the purpose of man, to progress. Okay, let's progress. And I'm not saying that we need to have full legalization immediately like Uruguay, and it did not happen immediately in Uruguay. But what I'm saying is we need to have a conversation in Parliament, the Ministry of Agriculture, saying that we can have and grow our own cannabis and have it legal to your citizens. And hey, have tourists or people who come down, have them register so that they can get a card. Revenue generator right there. They get a card and they can purchase from a dispensary, a government issued dispensary. They should make this issue of a license or whatever extremely difficult to get and extremely difficult to keep, with a set of rules and stipulations, just like the kind of license that you would receive for selling alcohol. It's called a liquor license. Last time I heard of it. So that's what you need to do. We can open up more green tourism. Individuals will come not just for research, which is a huge part. I mean, guys who follow the cannabis movement and scientists who want to study the reaction that the cannabinoids have on our sensory systems and on our nervous system and on so many other ailments and ways of dealing with so many other symptoms of ailments that we do have, they are being restricted because of law. St. Lucia, this is a opportune time to take a bold step forward and to move into the 21st century like you have some balls. That's it. I'm not saying anything else. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was In Between Time. And if you don't know what in Between Time is, that's when I don't have Chris or guests come through and cause some mockery, or in Jessica Lay's case, just make the place more beautiful. All right, that's it for today. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, your July 4th weekend. Drink responsibly. You know, seriously, drink responsibly. Smoke responsibly. Be responsible. Got it? All right, and finish your thesis. Love you. Mwah.